All feature codes show in Edit page. Users can either keep the default settings or change the codes as needed. But the feature codes cannot be the same or duplicate extension numbers. Click Save and apply changes. SIP settings is under Internal Settings. The settings include General, NAT or Network Address Translation, Codecs, QoS or Quality of Service, and Advanced Settings. Keep the default settings is general enough for the system to function. UDP port can be changed in General Settings. Before changing and using TCP or TLS port, check Enable. Another thing needs to be noticed is register attempts. The default number is 8. Users can change it to 0 if they want Mypbx to register promptly after recovery from network failure, in which case Mypbx will send register packets continuously. NAT is configured when registered remotely. There are 3 ways to configure. The first one, enter external IP address and local network address. Note that the latter is the network number and subnet mask pair. Or enter external host, external refresh interval like 20 seconds, and local network address. The third way, enabling STUN, is often used when the network does not have static IP address or host. Enter STUN address and port next. In codecs, use the arrow to select or remove codecs. QoS can be configured as required. Generally, default setting is enough. Advanced settings define some advanced options in SIP packets. For example, whether to enable pedantic or not, and whether to accept session timer or not. The configuration will be detailed in the following lessons. Click Save and apply changes. Click Voicemail Settings under Internal Settings. The general voicemail settings include message options, general settings, and playback options. Check the blue bubble for details. Configuring SMTP settings for voicemail is necessary for sending voicemail messages and fax to email. Enter the required information. Some email server like Gmail requires secure message. In this case, we check use SSL/TLS to send secure message to server. After configuring, click Test SMTP settings and enter an email address for receiving the testing email. In a few minutes, the system will return the test result. The result shows that the tested mailbox has received the mail. Click Save and apply changes. Click Music on Hold prompt under Internal Settings. Upload music on hold prompt if needed. Pay attention to the size and format of prompt. The file must be waveform and smaller than 1.8 megabits. The valid format includes GSM 6.10, 8 kHz, mono, ALO ULO, 8 kHz, mono, and PCM 8 kHz, mono. The specific music can be chosen in Options under Internal Settings. Click Save and apply changes. First of all, we can set a robust login password in Password Settings. We can also change HTTP bind port in Options. The default port is 80. We change it to 8080. Click Save and reboot the equipment. After successfully rebooted, enter the IP address of Mypbx in address field, following colon and 8080. Log in with the new password. In LAN settings, enable SSH and change port. If external test is not required, choose No to disable SSH access. Click Save and reboot the equipment to take effect. Firstly, enter SIP settings page and change UDP port. In advanced settings, decide whether to enable option Allow guest or not. The default setting is No. That is to say, unauthorized users are not allowed to make guest calls. Enter the edit page of extensions and set a robust password. In optional settings, check Enable IP restriction and configure IP address that is authorized to register. We can use subnet mask to define the range of IP address. For example, the one shown on the screen means only the phone whose IP address is 192.168.4.67 can register this extension. And the second one means that the phone whose IP address falls into the range from 192.168.4.1 to 192.168.4.254 can register this extension. In addition, Register remotely can configure whether to enable this function or not. Click Backup and Restore under System Settings. Only configuration information of the system has backup, and call logs and audio files uploaded by users does not. Click Create a new backup. The default file name is the current time. Change the name when necessary. Click Backup. Click Upload Backup File to upload local configuration file to Mypbx. All created and uploaded files show in the backup file list. Click Download to save a backup file on a personal computer. Click Delete to remove the file. Click Restore to previous configuration from backup. Then when the system is rebooted, Mypbx will restore the selected backup configuration. Note that backups of different Mypbx models cannot be universally used. When restored, please use backup from the same hardware. Before configuring Firewall, please back up the current configuration of Mypbx and download it to the local computer. Click Firewall Settings under Network Settings to enable or disable Firewall. Both operations require rebooting Mypbx to take effect. Click New Rules in Common Rules. We now demonstrate how to allow all IP addresses of local phones to visit Mypbx. Suppose the IP address falls into 192.168.4.1 to 192.168.4.154. Enter name and description and others. Choose Protocol and enter port and IP address. Then choose Action. Connection drop means all packets from IP address will be intercepted and abandoned. Accept means the opposite. Choose Ignore to disable this rule. Click Save after configuration. Now let's move to auto defense. We take an example of establishing a rule visiting 5060 port of UDP protocol. Enter port and choose protocol. Fill in rate, for example 10. Then Mypbx only allows 10 UDP packets sent to 5060 port in 1 minute. The 11th packet will be denied. For IP blacklist, the system has 3 default rules. The first rule is if certain IP sends over 120 UDP packets to 5060 port in 60 seconds, the system will automatically list it in a blacklist. Click IP Blacklist Manage to check and manage IP addresses in the blacklist. If an IP is listed by mistake, remove it from the blacklist. Click Save after configuration. Click Alert Settings under System Settings. Mypbx alerts 2 kinds of attack, IP attack and web logging. Click Edit and find phone notification and email notification. Let's enable the first. Enter number. Multiple extensions and outbound phone numbers can be filled in. Divide them by semicolon. The outbound phone number must fit the dial pattern of outbound routes. Attempt is the time the phone will be dialed when not answered. Interval defines the time between each dial. The interval should be longer than 3 seconds. The prompt for phone notification can be user-defined. For email notification, enable it first. Enter email address. Divide multiple addresses by semicolon. Then enter subject. The content spots predefined variables. Check the bubbles for explanation. The alert of web login is the same as IP attack. Log in Mypbx entering false password for 5 times continuously will be considered as web page attack. The system will ban the IP from logging in for 10 minutes and inform the user by phone and email. Lesson 6 ends here, and this is also the end of level 1. Thank you for watching. See you in next level.